People ask me about Lost World in the comments, you know, things like, hey, are you actually gonna end up using Lost World ever again now that there are EXs and stuff? And, you know, just basics are kind of the main thing floating around. The answer is yes, you know, I'll still keep using it as long as, you know, the card Seeker exists. I wish there was other cards to put, you know, things from the bench back into the hand, but it seems like, you know, that would be the only thing to do it. I can't really think of any other poke that would help put things other than maybe Shift Tree. Shift Tree would put them back into the deck, though. That's just something else I'm talking about entirely. But as long as you can keep the pokes in their hand, like, it doesn't even really matter whether or not you're sniping off evolutions. Because I think I end up getting a lot of basics in this game, too. But this is a pretty good game I actually had with a subscriber of mine, I guess, because he knows what deck this is. But that's not going to stop me from trying to have a little bit of fun, because I've actually I've used this deck on the deck that I'm facing before, and it still works out relatively well. Just because, you know, you can see Vulpix is probably going to be Ninetales. I don't know what variant he's running. It turns out he's running the Reshiboar with a couple of Mewtwo splashed in, or I would assume. I do see Reshiram EX, and then I see Mewtwo. Blah blah blah. I'll be able to get those motherfuckers in a little bit. For now, what I do see is I can catch her in the Tepig. I'm kind of scared that Reshiram, you know, has a double colorless on it already. But what I can do is capture that bad boy in. I don't want to put down Lost World just yet on the off chance he has, like, Sky Arrow Bridge or something like that. So I'm going to hold off because, you know, Sky Arrow Bridge and reasons and why not. But decide to PCOM out for a Cleffa. I believe I hold off on switching out to it. Or maybe I do it. No. I do hold off, but I am going to use sneaky placement and decide to put one on the Vulpix. Believe it or not, that'll actually come into play later. Just that one damage counter. Because what I've done is made it so Gengar can take it out in 2 curse drops if I really need to do that. It just makes it divisible by 40. But I hold off on the extra turn because of that. I'm able to switch out my Haunter, which has Free Treat, into Cleffa, get myself a new hand, and as you can see, I got some good things. I don't know if I mentioned that I put Mew Primes in this deck, but since I have the Mews, I did try them before in this deck, and I was like, oh, I don't really like it. And I still have yet to tweak with the structure, but they're in here. They're probably going to stay because I really like them now. I was like, oh, they're so fragile. But if you play them right, you don't have to worry about whether or not they're fragile. I mean, you hurl, as long as you can get 1 in the lost zone per Mew, then you're doing it right. That's about it. It's real fucking easy mode with these things. But I'm going to go ahead and put a energy on Mew. I believe I'm going to see off a Gengar now, just so that way it preps all of my Mews. So I run 3 Gengars in this deck. I should probably, with the amount of Ghastlies and Haunters, run 4. If I have a 4th, I'll put it in there. If not, I'll probably cut down on the amount of Ghastlies and Haunters I have and maybe put some other pokes or cards in, relevant ones that would help me out. I don't know what I will be doing, but Mew is also the alternative to working this deck with, you know, around Trainer Lock in case, you know, there's a Vileplume present. Then I can just see off a Gengar and we're good to go. But I've been talking a lot about my side of the field. As you can kind of see, I captured in that Tepig somewhere along the way. He's using the one that has 2 retreat cost, which kind of sucks for him. And it means that I'm going to have a little bit of an easier time here. For now, I'm going to put another energy on Mew, and I believe just retreat out to Cleffa. Because I guess it's just not really worth it to seek her out right now, or I don't know why I'm doing that. I guess I'm waiting for Gengar. And it turns out I get all of the remaining ones, and then I also get a Ditto. Ditto's Poke Power is not Transform or really anything relevant, whatever you want to call it. Ditto's power is Dittobolic, and what it lets you do is the opponent can only have 4 Pokemon on their bench. So if I put it down and he has a 5th, he has to discard it. And he has to pick one of these things right now to discard. I mean, he's obviously going to pick that Tepig, but, you know, it'll just get it out of the way. That's great, I suppose. Interviewer's questions doesn't look like it actually ends up pulling him any energies, which kind of sucks. But get to put down some more Mews, or 1 more Mew, and then I'm going to put down the Ditto, and then we're just kind of waiting on him to pick something to discard. It's obviously going to be the Tepig. What it does is it locks down things from being able to be put onto the bench. Had I gotten it sooner, it probably would have been better, because that Tepig would have been stuck in his hand instead of, you know, discarding it. So, whatever. It's all good. For now, I'm going to look at his hand first off to see if there's anything in there. And I'm glad I checked with Mr. Mime first, because there actually isn't anything in there. So, what I can do, I have this situation where I can check once, and then if there is anything, I can just switch out to either Mew or Gengar and then hurl them off. And if there isn't, I can just go ahead and, you know, just eke out. That works. I see that I have both my Lost Worlds by this hand, and I also have 2 Seekers, and that's really hot too. Now, what this is going to let me do, I'm going to put down one of my Lost Worlds, and if he has a stadium, he'll probably try to do his very best to put it in play to get rid of Lost World. But I do have both, so I feel pretty safe doing that. For now, he puts down the Pig Knight, which is like, this thing has even more of a retreat, so I'm guessing he might be banking on maybe switches or things like that to come up. He probably runs a couple with such heavy Pokemon in this deck. You know, that kind of makes sense to me. For now, I'm going to put another energy on the Mew just to get that guy ready. I believe Seeker up, or maybe I Mime first. I think I might Mime first, whatever. For now, I'm going to take the Ditto back. Ditto's going to be my Pokemon of choice to keep moving. But it doesn't really end up mattering too much. Use Mr. Mime to see what's in there. There are a lot of Pokemon in there, guys. Well, by a lot, I mean two. There's a Reshiram and then Reshiram EX. Gonna put down Lost World, let him know what the fuck's up. And then switch out to either Mew or Gengar. I believe I decide to go into Mew. Or maybe Gengar. It really doesn't matter. They both have the same amount of energy. I decide Mew's just better for some reason. I don't know. They do the exact same thing right now. But I'm going to hurl the Emboar and the Reshiram EX. What I did not see is that he had a Professor Elm's training method, so we can just get another Emboar back right off the bat. I probably should have hurled that Reshiram. Then I wouldn't have really had to worry about it too much, and I could have just captured out Emboar again. But we got an EX in the Lost Zone, and we also have fucking whatchamacallit. What did I just put in there? Emboar? Yeah, that's right. Now, I've been thinking about putting Prism Energies in here, too, because, you know, Mew can hurl the things in the opponent's deck, and then with Prism Energies, it can actually use their attacks against them if I need to go on the offense for whatever reason. Since Prism will count for the Psychic towards a hurl, or it will count towards the other energy, whatever you want to call it, just because, you know, Music Basic Pokemon and Prism counts as every kind of energy, but only one of each. It's pretty cool, so I might put a couple of those in there. For now, I believe I am going to Seeker to, for sure, get one Pokemon in there, and then check to see what's going on. If he only has the one Pokemon in there, I can use the Mew on the bench and, you know, not expose the other ones to, or the Gengar to any immediate danger. But Trick Reveal is going to show me that the only thing he actually does have, in fact, is that Reshiram that I just Seekered up. So as you can see, as long as I actually maintain access to my Seekers, this deck still really doesn't do that badly. I mean, he does have all of his evolutions in play, but I'm still able to hurl stuff and stuff. So I think we got 3 of his in the Lost Zone, 1 of mine. I think this is the first time I've played this deck where I actually put something into the Lost Zone. So I kind of handicap myself a little bit, but it's not like other people are going to be putting things in there too. So that's kind of how that works out. Emboar, I believe, still doesn't have enough energy because he's just chalking up that damn Mewtwo. I would have put them all on Emboar, gotten the hell out of there, and hoped for a Fisherman, and then just gone on the offensive, because that would have worked out way better. For now, he's going to revive, put a Tepig on the bench. It just makes it cursed drop bait, to be honest, but what I can do right now, I believe I put a third on that Gengar, or maybe a second. What I would have done is what I should have done, not what I would have done. I already did it. What I should have done is I should have put a third on the Gengar, and then that way I would have had variable, like, things to work with just based on what he had in his hand. Like, if he had 1 Pokemon in his hand, I could have used the Mew with 1 energy, 2 pokes in his hand, the Mew's with 2 energies, and then, 3, and then that kind of thing. That would have worked out great. But I see that he doesn't have anything in his hand. He's just going to make this a little bit difficult. So I'm just going to go ahead and eke out. I'm going to wait for that Emboar to kind of, like, get the fuck out of there so I can catch her back in. I know that'll be a pretty good possibility if I can do that. Unfortunately, I wake up. If he wants to, like, hit me now, that's fine, because I have Twins in this deck. So not only that, but, well, Twins, and then it'll just open it up for something else. That kind of works out. I think I just decide to be a huge dick right now and, like, junk arm out a couple of things in order to catch her in the Pig Knight, which has 0 energy on it. That would kind of make sense. Am I going to do that? Am I going to be that guy? That dick? I guess I am, by junk arming out a rare candy and a super rod. I don't need to really, whatever. I think I have 1 more super rod in here for some stupid reason. But there's the catcher, and gonna catch her in that Pig Knight. Now that Pig Knight needs 3 energies, and he has a bunch of useless energy on the Emboar. Decide to oak out for a new hand too. I also put Judge in here, by the way, since this will shuffle out my hand and his hand, and not really working too much, especially if they're getting a a prize advantage. since, you know, it'll give them as many cards as they have prizes. Judge will give a set 4 to both of us, so it'll shuffle out both of our hands. But I saw that he didn't have anything in his hand, so I was like, I'm just going to bring in Gengar. It has the most HP. I can afford to probably take a hit from something, except not really looking at it. I don't know why I decided to send in Gengar, but I guess I'm just going to go with that. What else do I have? There are 3 in the Lost Zone. Going to go ahead and go for Judge. I know there's nothing in his hand at this point, so shuffle it all out. I think I have 2 or 3 Judges in this deck, so that's kind of cool. I also drew into a Seeker for next turn, just in case he really doesn't have anything in here. I think I just decided to Curse Drop and finish off the Ninetales. Now, what that does with Gengar is, because I knocked it out, it puts all of the cards attached to it, all of the Pokemon cards attached to it in the Lost Zone. So not only have I gone on the offensive slightly, thanks to the 10 damage I did from earlier, you know, 2 Curse Drops puts 2 cards into the Lost Zone. So it took 2 turns, a little bit more of a wind-up. But as you can see, that brought the total up from 3 to 5. I do have a Seeker. He is not going to get all 6 prizes in one turn, so any way you cut it, this is basically going to be game. I don't know if he didn't have access to his switches or whatever, but that's kind of how it ended up playing out. So got those, and then cool thing here is when I believe I can catch her in. Yeah, dude, I'm going to catch her in something. That way he can pick something with, like, yeah, I catch her in the Reshiram, because that way if I pick Seeker, then hold on, okay, if he, what the fuck am I trying to say? If I Seeker, then he has to get something in his hand that has 3 evolutions on it, or 2, or that Mewtwo. I don't know why that took me so long to say. I just completely tripped over every sentence possible. No, I picked Curse Drop there on accident. I was like, that would have sucked, but no. Just going to go ahead and hurl into darkness those guys. That brings the total from 5 to 7. And that is the game, ladies and gentlemen. That's how Lost World plays against Reshibor. Unfortunately, he was not able to get that EX powered in time, because he was not able to get the Emboar out of the active spot in time. I would have spent... And now he finally gets a switch, which is really unfortunate on his behalf. And he finally gets a kill off my Gengar, I think, with like a 200 damage attack or something like that. So, you know, nice little finishing blow there. Score's tied in terms of prizes, but by the time the turn turns over to me, I will have won with a field of like 70 HP and below basics, and it's really nice. It's really, really nice. So that's it. If you guys enjoyed it, you're welcome to leave a like, rating, comment, subscribe, do your thing. And I believe this is the last batch, the last video from the batch of TCGO that I just recorded. I might play some more later this week and just get some more recorded in advance. Haven't really decided yet, but I had this one. This is a relatively good one, so here you go. I will see you guys in the next batch, next TCGO video, what have you. Okay, bye.